Well, it's not just the TV show The Crown. The royal family have become the world's favourite soap opera. Every day, and we talk about it here, there seems to be a new twist, a new turn, and now a new podcast is delving into the trials and tribulations of the British monarchy.
It is called Dynasty by Vanity Fair, and journalist and host Erin Vanderhoof joins us now from New York. Hey, Erin, it's great to have you on the show. So you and co-host Katie Nicholl, you're peeling back the layers of the royal family, you know, decades and decades to cover. So how did you figure out what you were going to discuss?
Well, we started by thinking about the fact that the Queen actually has a lot of power. People say that her power is just symbolic, but she really has these constitutional powers, she has wealth, and she has influence. And we wanted to explain how that power has shaped her as a person and how it's impacted her children and her grandchildren and has kind of in some ways pushed them to not be able to live up to her image.
So episodes focused on anything from the inner workings of Her Majesty's early reign to William and Kate's relationship. Was there anything that surprised you while you were making this podcast?
I think the most surprising thing that I learned was exactly how hard it was for the Queen to balance being a mom with her duties as a royal. Yeah. When Charles and Anne were young, she was gone for months at a time, and Charles and Anne were left with nannies, and they got really close to the Queen Mother, but it really did affect them how distant she was. And I think it's a problem that a lot of women have now, so I think in that way, part of the reason why the Queen is so beloved is because she was really ahead of the curve on these things.
Yeah.
I guess it's sitting back, you know, the future of the monarchy is quite uncertain at the moment. Have you gained any insights into what the next move might be?
Well, for working on this podcast, I think that I have really come to understand that Prince Charles is actually really up to the task of being a monarch. I think the biggest thing that he has done that has proven he is ready is the fact that he was aware to threats to the environment way before anybody else other than, you know, other scientists really understood exactly how serious it was. And that proves that his judgment is really good. The biggest question that's still up in the air, though, is how big his royal team is going to be. See, he's always believed that having too many royals working in the palace is just bad for his image and bad for the monarchy's image. But if it really does turn out to be him, Camilla, Will, and Kate, I think it might be too much work and they won't be able to really put as much energy into it as they need to. And if there aren't enough people to come back, then that could put them in a real bind.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting time moving forward when Her Majesty does pass away. But, you know, the latest episode focuses on Meghan's struggle in the royal family. Now, in a few weeks, Harry and Meghan will be rejoining the Windsors for the Jubilee celebrations. We've just heard they will not be going onto the balcony. But what do you think about Meghan's, I guess, journey through the royal family and how she's navigated that?
Well, I think Meghan was kind of faced with an impossible task in the beginning, but I think that it shows a lot about her character that she tried. I think that Harry and Meghan together are really going to use the Jubilee, for example, as an opportunity to, you know, at least make some family moments, introduce their kids to the rest of the family, and you know, try to at least make sure that they understand that they can still figure out something in the future. Our reporting for the podcast, however, shows that the rift between William and Harry is really deep and really personal. And I think it's going to take both of them really coming to a point where they want to make up before that could ever happen.
And what do you think is behind that then, Erin?
I mean, think about it like this. You have two men who their whole lives grew up thinking that they were number 2 and number 3 most important people in Britain. And they both went into the army. They both lost their mom at the young age. They both stubborn guys, but they also were really close. And so I think it just took some incidents that just really pushed them apart for them to realize that they had more issues than they realized. And I think the pandemic has either brings people closer or pulls them apart. And I think Harry being in a different country has really impeded almost anything that they could have done to make it up.
Well, let's hope that the Queen's Jubilee celebrations helps
heal some rifts
together.
Yeah, we want to see the brothers back.
Thanks, Erin.
Thank you, David and Belinda.
Thank you, my friend.
Dynasty by Vanity Fair is available wherever you get your podcasts.